and handing KD another MVP trophy for the finals. The Warriors are champs once more. Welcome to Game Time Live at the NBA Finals, presented by YouTube TV. Back to back, 3 out of 4. The Golden State Warriors once again bringing a championship to Oracle and to the Bay. We welcome you down on the court. We'll have thoughts on both sides. Player reaction here on set as well. Casey Stern, Grant Hill, Chris Webber, Charles Barkley. A lot of the conversation as we're watching the game, as it will be now moving forward, about LeBron, but in this case, about what he didn't do with everything on the line, Charles.
I was so disappointed, his passiveness, and it drained all the energy out of the rest of the Cavaliers. He came out passing the ball. I wanted to see somebody fight to the finish. But number one, congratulations to the Warriors, but that left me mad more than anything. For him to come out and play like that with the game on the line, just be so passive. And you can see it drained the energy out of the rest of the players because they fed off his body language. Just disappointed personally.
Yeah, I agree with Chuck. The body language of LeBron really, I think, took the energy from his players. And when you look, LeBron was 7 for 13. Kevin Love was 4 for 13. And Rodney Hood, 4 for 14. In this game, it's no way a player off the bench should have the most shots. And for that, as great as LeBron is, the 50-point games, the triple-doubles, you know, he's raised the bar to where we expect him to come out and to control the game from beginning to end. And today, he didn't do that.
Yeah, no, Chuck said it best. Disappointing. You know, he just did not seem mentally or emotionally engaged.
He packed it in.
I mean, he gave up, right?
He gave up. He gave up.
It seemed like he gave up, right?
Yes,
particularly when the game was somewhat close there at halftime, maybe a 5-point lead. They got down, but they fought back in the game in the first half. And in the second half, in the third quarter, I think maybe one shot. I mean, it was not what I expected. And we had all these conversations and debates about GOAT and this, that, and the other, which, you know, you can't really have that real, you know, you can't really make an argument for that. And to me, when you come out and you're passive and you kind of just don't give it your all when your team needs you, you can't really have that discussion as far as I'm concerned.
He didn't have a field goal made. 5 minutes left in the second till 5 minutes till the end of the game, where, by the way, he walked off the floor.
And the game was over.
Right, and the game was over. Can we put an end to, Chuck, because I know you were talking about this a lot upstairs.
Hey, listen, do
you have a message? Let's show the board first, because I want you to be able to look in the camera and tell them what you told me.
First of all,
LeBron, most NBA Finals Series losses, he has 6.
And that ain't all on him.
Now let's get Chuck. Chuck, can you please tell America your thoughts to any individual, male or female, whoever tells you that MJ is not as good as LeBron?
I'm just going to say this. Any media person that I see in person for the rest of my life who try to tell me LeBron James is good as Michael Jordan, I'm just going to slap the hell out of him right on the spot. Right on the damn spot. No question asked. The next person who walks up to me and say, LeBron James, who is amazing, as good as Michael Jordan or competes like Michael Jordan, I'm just going to slap the hell out of you right on the spot. And I'm going to take my chances with the judicial system.
Kobe Bryant put on Instagram, he said he was not buying that LeBron played with these garbage. Basically, LeBron was saying he wasn't playing with anybody, and he said, we're not as good. I know you guys didn't like that, but Michael Jordan's going to shoot 40 times if he has to. Kobe Bryant is going to say, okay, I'm going to make sure I'm the man. I'm going to go down on the sword. He didn't defend Durant. He took 13 shots. I don't know how else you look at it, Webb.
Well, yeah, you look at it. I mean, Chuck said it all. I mean, that's why Chuck's one of the best on TV. He just gives it to you like it is. And so I can't add any more to that. I would say this, though. After the comments the other day that we don't have a team and, you know, as good of a team and there's less room for error, then that means you take it upon yourself and you handle it. That means you do it. Again, Rodney Hood, he was the sixth man, took the most shots on the team. And I really thought it was unfair for these guys because some of them look like deer in the headlights because they've never been on this stage before and they've not expected to be those scorers. And as fans, just as fans, this is when you want to see the best player in the game today put the team on his back and make something happen.
Casey, what bothers me, these two guys are great players. Great players. When you're the best player on the team, everybody feeds off you, good or bad. Good or bad, they feed off you. And you could just see, like, early he's passing it, just going through the motions. And he didn't get going, so the rest of the team didn't get going. And then when things got out of hand in the third quarter, it was really over then. I'm just disheartened because, listen, I didn't win a championship, but I always competed. And that was not competition tonight. That was like, hey, we're going to pack this thing in. I'm going to get some good stats. To go from 5 minutes in the second quarter to really when the game is over in the fourth quarter and don't score a field goal, that's ridiculous.
And look, let's be fair. We'll talk more about LeBron a little bit later in the night. But it's very well could be his last game in Cleveland, not the impression you want to leave the crowd. Let's get to the other surprise, because we're going to hear from the Warriors. They'll be on set. And we're going to have, I'm sure, the MVP here. We thought that would be Steph. At least that was the thought, I think, from some of us here. Were you surprised at all, G, that Durant gets the MVP over Steph despite the performance from Curry tonight, who ended up putting up 37?
Casey, I probably would have given the nod to Steph Curry, but they both were sensational. But it gets to that point what Chuck said, that Game 3 performance by Kevin Durant, one of the best in the finals.
A triple-double for Kevin Durant, so it wasn't like he had a bad game, 20 points, and ended up having 12 rebounds and 10 assists. Another game where he filled the whole stat sheet.
Yeah, and we just saw the cumulative stats right there, and it seems that he had a better series. But from the eye test, you would have thought, hey, with the 9 3-pointers and the record that Steph Curry set, that maybe it is. But, you know, when you watch this series, it was one player that did not look like the rest of them for Golden State. And the obvious mismatch for both teams was Kevin Durant. I mean, it just showed, especially in Game 3. And I think, you know, Chuck said that's one of the best performances he's seen in the finals. I know for Grant, myself, it is too. And, you know, a great performance like that wins it for your team. And we heard Clay say at this very desk that he gave Clay and Steph the night off. And that's the type of things you happen. But that's a great problem to have, right? 2 MVPs, first team with 2 MVPs under 30, and then we're trying to see who could get the MVP for the game. I think the future looks bright for this team.
You know, a lot of people complained we sat before the season last year, right? Well, how could KD – what do you mean you went from Oklahoma City to the team that beat you? You can't do that in the super team. All the stuff we talked about. But do you think he's shut enough people up? I mean, back-to-back championships, back-to-back NBA Final MVPs. I don't know what else he could do to prove that he made the right decision.
Well, he could have won one in Oklahoma City. That would have been a good decision, too. Listen. One of the reasons old heads like myself got mad, when a guy is great, if Michael Jordan had to win and play with the Lakers or the Celtics, they would have been unbeatable. I personally want to beat those guys. So, listen, he had the right to do it. We didn't like it. We're never going to like it, because we knew it was going to ruin the competitive balance.
But don't you give credit because he's been the best player in the 2 finals, going back to what Webb was saying before, G, in our pregame about being that bus driver, or no?
Well, I mean, you got to give him credit. I mean, look, he was a great player before he came to Golden State. I think what's really awesome is, you know, how Golden State has accepted him and allowed him to come into this team that really didn't need him.
Yes.
I mean, truth be told, 2 years ago, up 3-1 after Game 4, Draymond gets suspended. I mean, they very easily and probably should have won that championship in 2016. So now you bring in the best one-on-one player in the world, and it just works. It works. Steph, Clay, Durant, the chemistry, it speaks to the character in that locker room as they celebrate. But that's very uncommon, particularly in this day and age. And I think eventually over time people may forget it, but, hey, it doesn't matter. He's got 2 chips, 2 championship MVPs, and very deserving.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think, for myself, I won't forget it. I don't know if a lot of fans will forget it. But if I'm him, I don't care.
Right.
I think Chuck said it earlier.
Right.
I mean, we can have our opinion, and he could do what he wants to do.
Right.
But for me, being down 3-1, I would have loved to come and see him beat this team back, just as an old-school competitor. But who cares what I think if I'm him? If I'm him, I'm not listening to any of us.
Right.
I'm going to do what I want and win. So hopefully for himself, he's not insecure or upset. And hopefully he didn't win anything tonight by proving it, because he's always been a killer on the court. So to me, he's who I thought he was. He's a great player, and he plays on a great team. So hopefully this doesn't, in his mind, make him better, because he doesn't need anybody else's approval.
We showed the board there. Obviously 3 out of 4. It could have been 4 straight, right? If they don't blow that one series. You guys all played against great teams, 4 great teams. It's clearly a dynasty, right? But where does that dynasty rank? Is this one of the great all-time teams because they have too many great players? Does it take away? How do you see this?
Well, they have 3
dynasty?
great players. They have 3 great players. They're all in their prime. They've won, really, let's be realistically. If Draymond's not out there kicking people, this would be a 4-peat, more than likely. I mean, you have to be realistic.
Right.
So, and they're all young. We can't judge this thing until it's over, because they were the biggest favorite in the last 25 years coming into the finals. They're going to be in the finals more than likely next year. I mean, we got to see, before we start talking about we got to see how this movie going to end, because who's the oldest of those big three?
Durant, maybe, I think.
I think it's Kevin, isn't it?
Yeah. But I'm saying I don't even know how old Kevin is.
No, they're not. None of them are old.
I know. That's what's scary. This thing could go on for another 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
For Ty Lue, he's happy this season isn't going on any further. Maybe in one respect, it seems like it's been 5 years, a long year for Ty Lue. They've gone through, what did they say, 7 chapters of a season.